Obinna, I thought this is the part where you scream out loud. This is the part where you throw off your shirt. And
there could have been a better way to start the show, seeing how you've been in Kigali for how long now? Fola, did you miss Lagos and its madness?
Honestly, okay. Honestly, just a little bit. Just a little bit. What I miss about Lagos mostly is my show. I miss you guys. I miss the show.
Fola, we missed you every other week because, man, whoa.
That's what I miss about Lagos. You, the show, everybody here. Anything else? I did not miss the traffic. I did not miss the smelly air.
The trailers.
No, I did not miss all that. No, absolutely not. I always say that Rwanda is like my second country because it's my go-to place. It's my happy place. You know, other people go to Dubai and all those places. I like to go to black people's country.
I know you wouldn't be looking out for such, but I heard they have a lot of beautiful humans there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh God! Oh my God! Absolutely, the sons of God are well created over there.
Daughters.
You're looking at daughters. Oh well. Daughters too. You know, I tend to pay more attention to the sons, you know, but here we are. It's good to be back. It's really, really great to be back. Welcome to the Lunchtime Magazine on 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's Music Business Monday, and it's the Monday after my birthday. I'm still in a feel-good mood. Yes, I have just been informed that there's a birthday cake waiting for me downstairs. Ooh. And that fills me with great joy and anticipation. Yes, I haven't had sugar in a while, and I am getting ready to fall off the wagon because now I not keep person. I must eat cake. Yes, I have to, you know. But really, it's fun being back on radio after such a long time. 23 days off air, wow. Man. I don't know how I do these things, but I don't think I'm going to be taking 23 days off anytime soon. I miss this job not to, too much to allow that to happen again. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great.
I can see that you're shiny.
If you rub cream,
Chuck, how I take me out. Okay, so Music Business Monday today. Obinna and I have a special guest. His name is Peedi Picasso. That's not his real name, but everywhere I checked him out, all I found was Peedi Picasso. And he's a record label executive. He's the founder and CEO of Aristokrat Records. Yep. Aristokrat Group of companies.
Yes.
Absolutely. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Wow, it's good to finally see the person behind Aristokrat.
I know. I came out for Obinna. I don't. I don't usually do this, but people that have like respect for ask for favors, I would always oblige. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So today, as you know, we're definitely discussing the business of music, and there's so many things. A lot of things have been happening. Some happened, while I was away. I've been keeping track, and we'll look into all that. We'll also look at, some, big news in the music industry. How that people are beginning to see that Africa does have something to offer the global music industry, and Nigeria definitely has a large part to play. And so we're having international record companies open Africa branch, and of course launching a head office in Nigeria. One of such companies is Universal Music. We'll be having the discussion about that and how it will affect the global music industry and how it will affect our local industry right here in a short while. So sit back, relax, tell your neighbors and friends that Music Business Monday is just starting. You can follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM. Hashtag is Music Business Monday. And you can follow every one of us on the show on Twitter right now as we speak. So you can follow at The Favored Woman, you can follow at _Angry Mob, and you can follow at Peedi Picasso. He spelled
Yes, sir.
Peedi
Picc. Picasso.
Picasso. We're also streaming live on Facebook, so you can go on Nigeria Info's Facebook page and watch us live. That's your camera, that's mine. So go ahead on Facebook and watch us live as we discuss all the subjects on the table today. I'm going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, Music Business Monday continues.
Hi guys, my name is Tolulope Adeleru Balogun. I currently host Morning Crossfire. I'm here to tell you that you have to get your PVC. Your permanent voter's card is your power, and in your hand you hold the power to make any necessary change that you want in Nigeria. Please participate, because elections are not the end of democracy and governance. The highest office in the land is the office of the citizen. You and I are citizens of Nigeria. Get your PVC. Your PVC, your voice.
Hi, I'm Tunji Andrews, and this is 1,000 Naira notes. To some people, this represents a meal, or a few bottles of beer. To other people, this is 4 units of Dangote Cement shares, or 21 units of GT Bank stock, or the startup capital needed to start that pure water business. Whoever you are and whatever your needs might be, we have you covered on the Money Business and Economy Show on 99.3 Nigeria Info, weekday mornings at 9 a.m. Cause it's not really the amount of money that matters. It's usually what you do with it. Cheers.
Before we went on that short break, we did say that we're going to talk about the Universal Music Nigeria launch. Everyone has been talking about it. The entire music industry seems to be excited about it, although some people are looking at it, with a little bit more skepticism, based on previous attempts by other big labels, and of course the let me say, interesting situation that we have here in Nigeria. Before we get into that discussion, let me just say this as an aside, that across Africa, Nigerian music really makes me proud. While we're at home, saying this and that about our artists, they really are making bank abroad. Playing techno today, Techno and Mr. Easy today, let me use them as an example, that in East Africa, those guys are like, I don't know, demigods.
Wow.
I got an American friend to record a video. She actually asked me to record a video for her and get it across to Mr. Easy. I don't know how she expects me to do that, but, and she was going all bonkers about it. I don't know what the guy has done, but, they're sold. That's just it. Those guys
Good.
are sold. So it makes me feel good to be a Nigerian, and I go to East Africa and people are telling me, "Oh, do you know techno?" Yes, I know him. So back to the business. Universal Music Nigeria launch. It feels good, to know that big companies are looking to invest in our industry, and they're signing local artists as well. Now, Peedi, I'm going to you first because you are a record exec. You have experience in these things. What do you see at the moment?
Well, as you said, it's great that the foreign bodies are interested, or the foreign labels are beginning to become interested in the African music scene.
Yeah.
However, for me, it's not anything groundbreaking per se.
You think not?
No, I don't, because I don't know if anybody was familiar with 960 music.
Yeah.
In 2013, 2014, I was actually one of the people spearheading the 960 movement, and the goal then was to try to create the first major label out here, where, to be honest, I don't believe that Universal has the answers of fixing the industry, because yes, they're hiring local executives, they're gonna people that understand the industry and everything and all that, which is good, but our problems are supposed to be solved by ourselves. I don't think we need the bigger labels to come in and fix it.
Could it be they're coming in and they're the much needed investment that we have been waiting for? Because it seems that a lot of our local labels don't have the financial resources, to support our music.
I'd say show me the money. When I see
when you see the money,
when I see the money, like I'm sure that they're going to invest and everything, they're going to put money into the market and everything. But also 960 actually did raise quite a huge fund in true venture capitalism and everything. Yeah. And I think the problem at that time was the market wasn't ready. The local market, that is. Okay. The local market still is, in my estimation, still not where it needs to be for like that investment. When you put the money in, for you to see your money in, like, let's say your returns in good time. I still think maybe we still have about 2 to 3 years. Things like cost of data, just general standard of living.
When it improves, definitely music sales would
generally improve, because I think people ignore the socio-economic factors that lead to the consumption of music not being where it needs to be.
Yeah.
The people that consume music are the teenagers, let's say 13 to 35. Let me put that demographic of people, that you see a good number of those people are unemployed, don't have jobs, or don't have the ability to, let's say, pay $9.99 or even $4 a month on streaming platforms, or even have the amount of data they need to be able to stream music freely at any time, or even just lights to keep your phone charged throughout the day. So like these factors are going to always play a strong they're going to play a strong, like, negative factor in the growth. Okay. So until those factors are kind of improved on, also payment on like these platforms, it's but Apple Music, Spotify is not in the country yet.
Spotify doesn't work in Nigeria.
But payment on something like Apple Music, we're still dealing with bank card issues. Some banks don't take it. Boom Play and all these things. So those issues are there. Is Universal going to come in and solve those issues? If not, then I don't really see much of a lasting impact.
What about publishing? Because I've heard arguments that they're also a major publishing house. Yeah. And a lot of our local artists still struggle with getting publishing deals, and if they coming in that from that angle, then maybe some of our local artists will start to make money off the music that they're making.
But again, it's not publishing locally. I think everything, most from what I see and what I believe, that I think that I don't know what their strategy is. Yeah. I just from my point of view, I'd probably think most of what they're going to be doing is export related. So basically
just exporting our talent.
Yeah, and I think their phrase is Africa is more than Afro beats. So I think they're trying to sell Africa to the world and be a connecting, which is a great thing, and all that. But I've also seen multiple Nigerian artists be able to cross over. Mr. Easy, Wiz, Burna, Davido, and get deals in those with those foreign labels, without necessarily needing like a local partner of those labels around to facilitate those deals. Most of the deals that I've seen either originated from the UK or America directly, mostly the UK. The labels in the UK discovering our Nigerian artists that have crossed over to the UK or South Africa, and then picking them up from there. So it's great that we have someone in Nigeria now doing that.
To actually discover them here.
So there's a great thing for that. And I've seen them sign some new artists. Hopefully those guys will be able to make the same, have the same successes that the Burners, Davidos, Mr. Easy's, and everybody else has had, in crossing over. But in terms of like actual what they're going to do in the local market, I'm yet to really see the potential of that, because as I said, there are a lot of factors that go beyond Alaba that affect our music sales and everything like that.
Obinna, what do you think?
It is something to be happy about.
Okay.
So it means that we have something valuable. It means that we have finally caught on the attention of the global music market.
Yeah.
As much as I'm excited, what I'm not going to do is to see this as a favor, because it's still business at the end of the day.
Why would you even see it as a favor? It's never, it's been clear from the get-go that this is business.
A lot of people are just so happy that we can at least take an Uber and walk into a Universal Music office.
Well, I think it's a neo-colonial mentality where we're like, oh, they see us, we're relevant.
I know, but Sony Music has been here for
a year.
Over a year.
Over a
year, for about 2 to 3 years. So I don't think, as I said, for me, it's not anything groundbreaking per se. Like and then the if anybody is not paying attention to African music, then I say it's not a favor. Like we're.
I mean, if you're not paying attention to African music at this moment, then you're not a good music business person, because anybody can see that this is actually where the world's attention is turning into.
Exactly. So we're not new to the big names. For years now we have been hearing rumors, or in fact a lot of these guys actually send some of their guys to come and see what's going on, and then they go
scouting.
Exactly. So this is something that has that has been in the making for a few years now. And we saw Akon come and promise everybody heaven and earth with convict music. Big shout out to Sony Music. I think they have had zero impact in Nigeria. It's almost as if they never came.
Wow.
That is a big that is
that's
a big
that's
name.
a very heavy shot.
So that is a big name. So I want to see Universal go beyond being a big name and actually putting in some work. And we have done so much for ourselves. There is not so much that that a Universal would come to add to a lot of talents now, because we have seen what Mavin and all these other people, just like Peedi rightly pointed out, even before they came, a lot of these guys are starting to break into the global big time. So they have to start solving infrastructural issues for them to be profitable.
But hold on a minute. If we're going to say that there's really nothing that they're coming to add, considering and I to a large extent want to see that point with you, because before we had the Sonys here, before we have to give ourselves credit.
Absolutely.
Our local labels are as small and as tiny as they seem to be. We put Nigerian music on the map. We single-handedly dominated the continent.
You can't it's like I can't, as a label exec, I can't sit here and say I would be here without things that without Kenny's music,
Yeah.
without
yeah,
Stone Records,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
without Chalk
Chocolate
City,
City.
Chocolate City.
and the work those guys put
And
in,
more hits.
and more hits and all those things. Like it is for me to come in. These guys are like
They prepared the
they prepared the ground for us. So like.
yeah.
And we've continued, and we've tried to continue from there on, whether it's the HKNs or the younger labels or the younger execs that had picked up from what these guys have done, and done our own part to add to that.
But the
And-
thing now is, if we're talking about in Universal or a Sony or any of these guys coming to solve infrastructural problems, is it their place to solve those problems?
For me, I think it is not their place. But if they do not do these things, the business cannot be profitable.
So what are these
Right.
problems? Should we name these problems
Yeah.
and talk about,
Yes.
how
Okay.
they
For
need to solve it?
for example, one of the simplest ones is, as big as Nigeria is, we still do not have an event venue that can take 10,000 people. I mean,
TBS.
Purpose
well,
built.
well,
Like-
proper, yeah. So I mean, we need to get to that place
Yeah.
where we are being profitable without having to speak to MTN, because sponsorship and all these things, they take so much time. Outside tours are profitable just off of gate takings, and it's because they have these venues, they have all this stuff going, so I want to see Universal be more than guys who just come and sign people. They need to be proactive in their business and venture and their ideas. They really, really need to do things.
I see where you're going with that, and honestly, I think I would say that where I have a different opinion is before I look at Universal or Sony to answer this, because at the end of the day, these guys are businessmen,
Yeah.
and what I see is, they come in, they look at our local talent, and they don't even look at all our local talent. They look at the ones they feel, oh, these ones are already people who have already worked themselves to a certain level, and they feel, oh, now we can benefit from what these people have built, so let's just pick them and let's take them out there. But we have loads and loads of other people who are very much talented and who are working hard, and those are the ones who are building they're building the foundation of Nigerian music industry properly. Now, if we want to look at, let's see how we can expand and make touring profitable in Nigeria, get ourselves venues, I think it is the work of the local labels to actually do this.
Yeah,
I
but I think the unfortunate part of that is that the local labels don't have the required funding
Yeah,
to be able to be able to do that. Like, as I said, that was one of the ideas behind doing the 960 thing was merging 3 local labels, so the revenue from the 3 labels would be able to guarantee that whatever funding you are receiving, you can actually see return on investment.
Yeah.
But then, even going through that process, we then discovered that there are too many loopholes in the system, whether it's the touring, whether it's in merchandising, whether it's in just digital sales in generally. They're just and just in the culture itself of like people, free music is our way. So to be honest, things like Spotify would do better here because they have a free tier and streaming, and it's backed by advertising. But other platforms here have not really adopted that model for us to say, okay, that's the way for us to be able
want to go.
where we want to go. So there's a lot of stuff, like I said, culture, structure. I always used to say this thing that you can't find, like, a Nigerian artist is dropping an album, or a shoe line is releasing a new shoe, where they're releasing Jordans, and you see people line up in the store
to wait for
to wait
it
for
to drop.
it.
Yes.
Where would you line up in Lagos? To
I think it's not it's I don't know if it's a marketing problem or it's the culture that we have. And you're right when you say that we have a freebie culture.
Yeah.
Even when you were giving those statistics about streaming and music streaming platforms and all that, and even the young people who consume music in Nigeria, we have a very small percentage of those young people who would actually pay to stream music. A lot of times they just look for platforms where they can get it for free, or wait for somebody who's gotten it and then they get it off person. So at that point, it makes relying on streaming and relying on digital sales very, very.
It's non-existent.
It's really
Recording-
non-existent. Most, if you find out most of our artists who are making bank, they're making bank off endorsements. They're making bank off, performances. And then if you look at those performances, how many of those do you have that really pay that much? How many of these endorsements are dished out, to everybody? So at the end of the day, you have a larger percentage or a larger block of the people who make the industry not even able to feed themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
How is a Universal going to solve that? I don't
so
see how they want to solve that.
which is
problem.
which is why I say I feel like their strategy would most likely be a export. Maybe long term they would try to do things to change the climate here, or make the climate more suitable and everything
Yeah.
for musicians, and maybe by doing live venues and stuff. I did see in the press release that they have a live
Yes.
live
a
component
yeah.
of
Okay,
their business.
okay,
Maybe
okay.
that would
Maybe
be what
that's part of the plan.
that's part of the plan. So I think those investments in performance venues, like actual purpose-built performance venues.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Free Me. Actually, I think they have a space at their new Free Me space that can take 200 people. It's not, and
Yeah.
it's a sound stage. It's built for
It's
performance.
something.
Okay.
It's something that's a
It's
start.
a start.
And stuff like that. But that's again a local business that has been here for about 6 years or so.
And for a Universal, because Fola just outlined everything. If you look at it, you start to wonder, how are you going to be profitable? So maybe the long-term goal is to actually end up buying as much catalog, as much music
Yeah.
as possible, because
But
publishing is the
I have a
patient
problem.
man's game.
I have a problem if they're buying off, catalogs from our local artists, because there's a part of me that worries. It's yes, you're getting these catalogs, but are these artists? Are they going to, who's representing their interests?
And they're offering.
Why you understand?
I
What kind of
have
deals
some,
are they
some,
getting?
Some backyard information on that. They did offer an artist that I work with to buy his past catalog, and the offer is quite poor. For me, from my own perspective, because
Yeah.
being that it's an artist I've worked with for years, and I've seen the performance of that catalog, for you to come to me and offer me X amount of money for X amount of years for that same
For that
catalog,
same work.
it just looks like you don't really understand. Maybe
Ex-
or maybe you think we don't understand the value of.
That's
of the-
exactly where I'm going. I'm afraid of exploitation here, because this is a huge global company, and there's we don't like to say it, but there's this mindset of, they're Africans, Africans, they need help, so if you're coming, you're coming to do us a favor, you're this benevolent big grandfather who's coming to help us and expose us to the world
With a big name.
with a big name and big shiny toy, so we're all happy and grateful.
Start an NGO.
And then we dish and then we dish out our catalog, and then you go make money off it, and then that's where I am so worried.
There's no-
Exploitation of local artists.
It's the music business, and one thing I know about the music business is that the business must be profitable.
That's true.
The business must thrive.
That's
the deals,
true.
there's nobody that goes into a business deal whether
It has to be beneficial to both,
both
parties.
parties. But sometimes everybody's looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but Fola, in very plain terms, one of the things I think that will set Universal apart from everybody is if really it's not just a pretty logo and they have a lot of money.
But we do know that they have money.
It would be nice, it would be nice, because some months ago they put out a single by Odunsi and this other one by Tay. These are immensely talented young people.
Yeah.
These are guys who have been building their following and their fan base for a while, but looking from outside, I don't feel like I felt the support of having a major behind you on those projects, you know, promotion wise, marketing wise, it was pretty much business as usual.
Exactly.
You know, the same thing.
Exactly.
So it makes me wonder, okay, so what is it really?
Then sometimes it makes you wonder if indeed there is transparency, because if you say that someone like an Odunsi, you know, has a universal name behind him, you expect to see some level of publicity and marketing,
Definitely.
you know, that would show that yes, you know, there's huge support.
It was
But when you
this
don't
one.
see it, you wonder what kind of arrangement they
It wa-
have. So is it just an arrangement of you can use our name, or are you putting the might of the label behind him, or what exactly is the nature of the deal you sign with these artists? Because if we don't see it, then we start to think twice.
The might of the label
The same
was
thing
clearly
with
missing.
Sony Music, you know, and how they came with a lot of paparazzi and they now in Nigeria and they have this and they signed that, signed this, signed that, and then when these so-called signees start to release work, we don't exactly see the impact.
Yeah, I think you should. For me, when you look at the Nigerian market and say, okay, you want to release a song or an EP, and okay, how many platforms that the major radio stations that you go to, the major
Yeah.
TV stations that you go to, that, to be honest, everyone has access to that. When I
Yeah.
mean everyone, I mean like the Mavens, the Chalk Cities, everyone has
Everybody,
access.
yeah.
Everybody has access to, and everybody says no pay for play, so it's a fair
game.
and everyone has access to this platform. So Universal coming in here, and to be honest, I don't really see what else they could do beyond what a Maven or a Chalk City can do for an artist. I think Don Jazzy probably has, in this market, has a wider reach than Universal can even pay for over on his social media
Yeah, yeah.
already.
True that.
Like
True that.
him signing an artist and putting them up on his social media and tweeting
Because
about
over
them.
the years he has built a credibility, he's
Yeah.
built his name, he has a fan base, and whether you like it or not, they're universal, but they're new.
Yeah, nobody,
you.
like, it's not, as you
Yeah.
said, if you drop a song and it's not on the right blogs or in the right stations or whatever, then it's not, your brand name doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. It's like your brand name would mean something when you show that, okay, I'm seeing maybe Odunsi on the biggest billboards in
Exactly.
Lagos.
Exactly.
Now we can start
they
to
have
say
to be making
yes.
major moves
Yeah,
on that
so-
level.
On that level.
But
you know?
when you then look at it on that level and say, would that be profitable in this market? Like, if I put Odunsi on the major billboard, like the biggest billboard on Third Mainland Bridge, am I going to recoup that money?
Exactly.
The answer
That's another. That's
yeah,
another
the
way of
answer will
looking at it.
probably be no. So on that sense, then you now look at it like, okay, these people are just being business people. They're just being doing the business the way that they would do it. So, okay, what would be the next step? Would be like, okay, let's take Odunsi and push him out on the streaming platforms in the UK or SoundCloud and all these things to make money
To
off
make
of
money off the work.
off of that and everything. So that's the like I say, the strategy that I'm seeing from my
your
standpoint.
perspective.
My
And I
perspective.
think you have a good point on that. But I think they need to start to think how to appeal to the local audience, because this is where these boys need, or why am I saying boys? That's so sexist. You know, this is where these artists need need the audience. Yes, they need the UK audience, the US. Those ones will come. You know, it's amazing to see how, if you want to map out the growth of Nigerian music, you take a look at, you know, some artists who started here before they started to make waves abroad. They were here.
Yeah.
You know, they got fan base here. They have massive support here, and the support here translated to support abroad. So how do you make sure that these guys get out of SoundCloud and make waves on the streets of
Exactly.
Nigeria?
Fola, you know, for people like Tay and Odunsi and these other new guys, I've said it before.
I wonder why
they
they
are
don't
very,
even have
very
Lady
talented.
Donley.
Well,
I wonder what they were thinking.
they're
Why-
possibly working on that, you know. So these are people who have something going, but at the same time, you'll be shocked that only only the cool music guys know them. So even within Nigeria, it's still a lot of promotions to be done, a lot of marketing.
Promote them locally first.
Exactly, so besides payola, it's a lot of strategic things to do to put your product out there. So if you are not coming to me with that major support, and really at the end of the day, that is all a talent needs a label for: promotions, and promotions is money. So if you are not going to put that weight, then they are better off just staying on SoundCloud.
We'll take a short break, do commercials. When we come back, this conversation continues. Remember, we're streaming live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. You can also follow the conversation on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, #Music Business Monday. If you have a contribution or you have one or two things to ask, you can tweet. And later on, the phone lines will be open, so you can call in and join the conversation from the phone. Stay here.
Hi guys, my name is Tolulope Adeleru Balogun. I currently host Morning Crossfire. I'm here to tell you that you have to get your PVC. Your permanent voter's card is your power, and in your hand you hold the power to make any necessary change that you want in Nigeria. Please participate, because elections are not the end of democracy and governance. The highest office in the land is the office of the citizen. You and I are citizens of Nigeria. Get your PVC. Your PVC, your voice.
Hi, I'm Tunji Andrews, and this is 1,000 Naira notes. To some people, this represents a meal or a few bottles of beer. To other people, this is 4 units of Dangote cement shares or 21 units of GT Bank stock, or the startup capital needed to start that pure water business. Whoever you are and whatever your needs might be, we have you covered on the Money Business and Economy Show on 99.3 Nigeria Info, weekday mornings at 9 a.m. Cause it's not really the amount of money that matters. It's usually what you do with it. Cheers.
You are welcome to my show. My name is Dr. Tolu. We want to make sure you are enjoying your sex life. We want to make sure your relationship is beautiful. This is where we build homes, mend relationships, and fix sexual issues. Be sexy. Don't do it. If you do, you're going to die. If you do, you're going to get problems. You're going to get pregnant. Listen to your #1 love show in Nigeria, Intimate Talk with Dr. Tolu. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tunji Andrews, and I run the SME show on 99.3 Nigeria Info every Monday at 10 a.m. You see, every second Monday of the month, we have what we call the Pitch It Mondays, where if you're an entrepreneur, you have a business idea, but you need investment into your business, you're able to pitch it to investors who will be with me in the studio. You'll be able to pitch your ideas in 45 seconds or less. And if you can catch their attention, you'll get the critical investment you need into your business. So rehearse what you're going to say, make sure you're able to catch their attention in 45 seconds or less. You might get that investment into your business.
Alexander Starr and Dibumunu, and the song is called Show Me the Way. It was recorded just a few weeks ago in Rwanda for the Ubumunu 2018 Arts Festival. So this is actually the new theme song. Yay, we have a new theme song. Thank you very much. So I promise you, I'll play it till you get tired of it. Okay, welcome back. 17 minutes past 1 o'clock. It's still Music Business Monday on the Lunchtime Magazine with Obinna and I, and we have Peedi Picasso from Aristokrat Records, and we'll be talking about the Universal Music Nigeria launch and how it is going to affect, or likely going to affect, the Nigerian music industry. Is it something to be excited about? Is it something to, maybe be introspective and just wait and see how things will turn out? So many issues on the table, really. And it brings me to, the talents themselves, that we are worried about, the ones that are being signed, to these labels. Off the microphone, I heard Peedi explaining to Obinna about, our artists and the ones who are not making the kind of numbers that you would expect them to make in the international market. So what then is the attraction? How are they going to help out in that direction? How are they going to ensure that, maybe a Mr. Easy, for instance, gets to make maybe Billboard top 100 or top 50? What are they bringing to the table to make that happen? And how will that reflect on the industry back home?
I think that Mr. Easy, for instance, I think the deal with Mr. Easy just covers the African territory. So I think that they don't have that responsibility in that artist. Now, maybe someone like a techno now. From my understanding that Universal Nigeria is partnered with Universal Africa partnered with Island. Which is one of the Universal labels, to do the techno deal. That's where yet to see any releases and everything from there. I feel like, well, with great partnerships, hopefully the guys at Island working with the guys at Universal here would be able to push techno to where he deserves to be. He's an extremely talented kid, songwriter, producer, as a recording artist too. I think he has all it takes to do that. But I think Obinna was saying off this night, it goes beyond just the money. It's the strategic thinking and the planning. How are you from if I was in the Universal Nigeria position working with Island, I'm trying to find a pathway to mainstream success for techno. The music originates from here, so in my opinion, I would know how to what markets or what strategies to use to penetrate. Being like, okay, let me use this example. From streaming numbers and everything, you can see where your artist is being streamed the most. I would, from just my own knowledge of the industry, I know that markets like New York are big for African artists in America. Markets like London are also big for African artists. They're the European markets, the Swedens, the Polands, the East. I don't know if that's Eastern Europe and whatever. Also have numbers for African artists and everything like that. So you have those cities and spots around the world where African music usually performs well here. What is the strategy to make sure techno has the highest visibility there? That's the starting point. And how do you take that visibility you have in those parts of the world and put it more into the mainstream markets? Like that's with that pop radio, urban radio, or just mainstream radio there. You have to understand, like for me, I always say our music has a unique path. And urban radio is not like, when urban radio would be like a Hot 97 in America, or BBC One Extra is but
you can say it's urban.
I say it's urban, but there are key stations and key demographics. I think our music does great in South America, the Panamas and some other Dominican Republic and whatever, Afrobeats in general, Brazil,
even the Caribbean
too.
Definitely do well.
And if you look at the Latin American industry, the numbers they do there are ridiculous. So I feel like a lot of people should, instead of looking for the mainstream American industry,
look into those areas.
Those areas where that's how we would get the numbers that we need to get.
Look into Africa also.
No, Africa, of course, that's home. If you look at and if you look at like the African, like Kenya, East Africa, huge market.
Yeah.
West Africa, Nigeria is the most dominant or the loudest market there, but there's also like there's a market in Senegal. There's a market.
There's a market in Ghana.
There's a market in Ghana. So there's a market in Francophone Africa.
Yes.
There's Ivory Coast. There's Cameroon.
There's
Those
Mali.
and there's Mali, and those markets also give you once you penetrate those Francophone markets, you get into France.
You get into Europe.
You get into Europe and
Yeah.
everything. So there's a map.
A mapping you can follow.
Yeah. So it's like the beauty of saying, okay, you're now with the Universal means like you have representatives in
Exactly.
In these
in these places. Like, unlike a Yemi Alade that had to go to these places herself, that had to build them herself. Now I'm signed to Universal. I need to be plugged in to these places where we know it works.
Okay, I hold that thought. Now that you just said as an artist, now you've signed to a Universal, so you expect to be plugged in. Now let's go back a year plus and look at Sony Music, who have been here. Now one would expect that with a Sony Music, an artist signed into Sony Music, one would expect to get that kind of plug in.
Yeah.
Are the artists getting the plug?
Not that I've seen. And not that I've experienced.
Even YC called them out.
Yeah.
Says a lot.
That says a lot. So that makes me wonder why.
But again, let me play devil's advocate a bit here.
Does
Why
he never really need an advocate? I mean, he is the devil.
YC was signed to Sony Africa. So West Africa and South Africa.
Has he even plugged the West Africa? that he signed
West Africa is mostly when I think Sony in West Africa is mostly Nigeria,
Nigeria.
and then maybe a little of Ghana. In South Africa,
That's ridiculous.
it's basically South Africa. Now, some of these territorial representatives for the labels, or just West African market or Nigeria or whatever, sometimes still have a lot of convincing to do to their foreign partners, saying that they have to go to, like now, okay, for techno, Universal has convinced Ireland to take techno up. So Sony would have to go to a partner label in maybe the UK to say, you know what, for this territory, this is this guy that we have. I want you to plug into him too. So when we put out his music here, you get this and you get that. But if you don't have that buy-in from that side, from like, it's as much as, okay, the local guy has found you and believes in you, is going to plug you in Nigeria. There's some of these artists that are being signed to Universal or Sony that their deal is not going to go beyond Africa, unfortunately. Because
well, that's understandable. I mean, depending on the kind of contract you sign, one would expect, okay, but within the limits of what you have signed, at least you expect to see result. It's when you don't see result that one begins to wonder, then what is the essence? Because we can't have artists complain about local labels, how, you know, the labels don't do this, don't do that, and then we still have, so an international label comes and we're still complaining about the
and
same
it's the
thing.
same thing
So
because
what's the difference now?
YC is definitely not bigger than he was prior to the Sony deal. So you start wondering where is the support? For me, I want to see these people make. I want to see more commitment from their part because it feels like everybody is just coming and they want to pick up the guy who's already made, so they can just move into making money immediately.
I think they would do that because of numbers, because they want to pick someone they can at least guarantee that this person will make the numbers.
Yes, but at the same time, you guys are a record company, and we have African talents a lot who are unknown and who can actually make bank globally. I want to see these labels commit to active A&R. I want to see them commit to artist development.
But
Not
is that one of their missions? So that's one thing
exactly.
we have to question. I think it'd be great to sit down with the university people and ask them, like, do you have a plan for artist dev?
We did reach out to them, but twice declined.
Okay.
Just to put that out there.
Yeah, but I think it'd be great to reach out to understand. Do you have a plan for artist dev and everything? Is there a plan for A&R? And like, what is? I know they have A&R people there, but sometimes the A&Rs can just be looking for the big. If their brief is to bring the big names in,
The big fish.
they go and bring the big fish in. If their brief is, you know what, let's look for talent that we can actually groom from ground zero up.
Then we'll go ahead.
Then they'll go ahead for that. But I've yet to Odunsi might be put as maybe a guy that can be put through development and everything, or some other guys I see there, but because their names are not well known yet. But I don't. Again, looking at it from my perspective, I don't still see that too. As a core mission of them being here. I think, unfortunately, it's now still in the hands of the local labels to be able to do that. Again, but a bad part of the local label business is that I think at one point in time, people were like, "You don't need a label."
It was becoming
a
thing.
Now, like, you don't need a label. What do you need a label for? You
just get a team and a solid management.
Yeah, but that's because the local labels
haven't come through.
Haven't come to lost their way. You see a label launch today, before they have an office, before they have a proper structure, they've bought a car and house for the artist and everything.
Or you see an artist, just flout his own label, and all he has is a logo.
So you see those things happening, and that's kind of bastardized what the labels should do and labels should be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, there are still a few labels out there that I know that I can say John Jazz is a songwriter. MI is an artist too. I'm not a big fan of artist-led labels.
Same here.
I'm not.
Yeah, but at least you see you can actually say, okay, I can get some creative direction from being on this label, apart from money or whatever it may be. At least that's is a plus. Being on a label like a Truck City, that okay, at least I would get to sit down with MI. He can listen to my music, and he's been in this business for a while. And he can creatively contribute to my project and everything like that. I would always encourage people to sign with labels that have some of nothing. It's just it goes beyond money. It goes beyond money. You have to have some brain about what you're doing, some passion about the music itself. The most successful labels, or labels like, for me, I'm a big fan of Motown. Barry Gordy, the way he had a chain system from choreographers to stylists, people to teach you how to talk, people teach you how to wear.
They put you through an entire process, and then you come out a finished product.
And that is the work that I fear that a lot of the big names are not willing to put in. And I understand, but it's also a part of what they do,
Yeah,
so.
it is a part of what they do, and I feel like a big benefit, a big role they can play in this market is bring that to life. Bring that. If you want to help this market, let's
see some development.
Let's see some development in our artists. If we're not going to see in the
entire exactly. At least let's see.
Let's see our artists know that, okay, you know what, I have to go to sound check and be there on time.
Exactly.
Or understanding the proper process of mixing a song, and not just record a song and put it up on SoundCloud and anything goes,
and that's it.
Yeah, just
because we're running out of time. I'm so sorry. There's a question I want to throw to both of you and on Universal, and how and this is just what you feel or what you think about the team that they have assembled together. And one of the things that they have very, very upfront about, especially in their press releases that I've read, is how that the Universal Music Nigeria is run entirely by Nigerian Nigerian operators. So you have industry professionals who are Nigerian, who have worked in different places in the industry. You have Eze, who's a seasoned music business expert, an A&R person. You have someone they poached from Trace TV, somebody from Viacom, different people from people who have worked in the industry. Do you think this will definitely make a distinct difference, or it doesn't really matter?
Who's signing the checks? That's my first question. Like, if you're like on the way I see the business in general is that if you're reporting to somebody and you don't have the final say, regardless of your great intentions and your resume and whatnot, you're at the mercy of the guy that has
the money,
the money and the final say. So I again, I don't know how the operation is set up, but Eze is a great guy, really passionate. He's done a lot of great work in the industry. Worked with EME, worked with Pato, worked with NSND and whatever and all that. But that's when he's working as an individual.
But now he represents something bigger, a
corporation. And if you're part of a corporation, you have to do what the corporation.
So the party line.
Yeah, of what the corporation says. You know, I know Fola, you work at a corporation too. So
Well.
so you know how you can
totally.
Yeah, you can have the best intentions at heart. You can be the right person for the job. And everything and whatnot. But you know, I don't know who's calling the shots. So exactly, if Eze is calling the shots, I believe he would do a great job. I'm not too particular. I'm familiar with anybody else on their team. But I think Eze is the general manager for Universal Nigeria. So I think
What do you think?
Eze is also a friend.
Look at you.
Yeah, you know, so Eze has definitely done a lot of work in the industry. So he's someone who is what his weight in gold. So I expect him to bring a lot of that experience to the fore. And he has Kimani Moore, who is head of A&R. And by the way, she also manages Tay and Odunsi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did she bring them in, or how did that happen? Okay.
Yeah. So we have Joey Akan on the team, fine writer. We have Akin, who used to work at MTV Base. They used to have Lanre Onikbade from MTV Base, but I think he's no more with the team anymore.
Oh,
yeah. And
people dropping out already?
You know, these things happen, but it's good to see that they have an all Nigerian cast. You know, so what they do with this, we can only wait to see. But for me, I'm not so crazy about all of this, because we are not new to having big names thrown around. I want to see some real work. I want to see some real money. I want to see some real innovation. I want to see new talents being taken to the next level. You know?
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. Anyway, it's been an interesting discussion. I wish we could do this, more. And interestingly, we will still have a talk to, the people at Universal, if they are able to put their communications team together and respond to inquiries. Then we will have a conversation and get to know what their strategy really is, rather than us speculating and wondering what it is they want to do or not. Thank you so much, Peedi, for taking time out. Aristokrat Records, you guys, I know you have some pretty good. You gave us Burna Boy.
Yes, we have 2 new artists right now.
Okay.
Caesar Millie and Tinea. Caesar Millie, of course, is from, I think, most popular from Soko.
Yeah.
This track with Wizkid and everything.
Caesar is amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing talent. Really talented.
When are we going to have him on air?
Anytime. He's actually on the media run right now. He just put out his new video, Yakba. His EP is coming out soon.
Okay.
Then Tinea, she's a Cameroonian singer. Her project is coming out real soon.
Great.
She has 2 singles out right now. But we're expecting more music from her soon on the project soon too.
Wonderful. So I look forward to talking to your artist.
No problem. They'll be very, very happy to come by anytime.
No problem. Thank you so much. The mom!
The favored one.
Oh my goodness. It's been Music Business Monday on the Lunchtime Magazine. Stay here. You're still listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'll be back after this time out.